tell us what you do know.
Well, yeah, I obviously didn't see it when it happened. I've run into some people who did see it, and they were way too shaken to actually talk to me about it. I haven't met any injured people. But this area is still being cleared from people, and even though the police are telling us to all go home, people are standing around because obviously they want to meet up with their loved ones before they leave the area. So there's still quite a few people moving around this area right now.
So is that the sense? You're actually looking at the cordoned off area, Lena. We don't know exactly where you are, but just give us a sense of what's going on now. You still think a sense of panic, really, that people want to link up with each other?
Well, there's absolutely no panic, I have to say. It's all very calm, but there's a lot of people standing outside of where the police have told us not to go. I'm a couple of blocks away from where it happened now, on Sveavägen, which is a parallel street. This is the same street where our Prime Minister was shot dead in the 80s, if anyone recalls. I'm not very far from that point. Also very close to where the other terror attack occurred a couple of years ago, when we had a man who blew himself to pieces in the middle of the Christmas shoppers. So this is obviously the most targeted area in Stockholm for all these kind of things. And I'm trying to talk to the police and trying to talk to the guards, but since this is now an ongoing thing that's happening right now, no one will actually tell me exactly what's going on. All they're saying is that we should not be we should avoid crowds, but it's extremely hard to avoid a crowd in Stockholm right now because all the tubes are closed, and so obviously everyone is walking. So basically all of Stockholm is a crowd.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Lena, just how much information you're getting from the police, because things are coming through to us here in London that we're now hearing that the train station has been cleared, that's been evacuated, that the Parliament is in lockdown. I mean, how much do you know as someone there who's actually in central Stockholm?
Well, obviously cycling through Stockholm, I saw that the Parliament was shut down and there's police everywhere. I can barely hear you because of the helicopters hovering above me. And traffic is at a standstill right now outside of this area where the police has cut us off from the centre. And the people are still actually leaving the area, which I'm a bit surprised about. I saw a group of crying children just now crossing the street, getting out of the area. So obviously this is like the major shopping centre, so it would take ages to get everyone out. It's also like the major office hub, so lots of people are working in this area as well, so it would be a nightmare to clear it all. But yes, they are doing their best, but we can't get away from it because there's no tube.
Yeah, and Lena, obviously something deeply shocking has happened there this afternoon. We know already that 3 people have been killed. But can you give us an indication of Sweden's readiness? We have heard from the Swedish intelligence agencies that this was a deliberate attack. I mean, how shocking will people find that?
I think people have been quite aware that something like this could happen because of the attack that was during Christmas shopping in central Stockholm some years ago. So I think there's been an awareness, especially among the police force, because they have been training for these kinds of events, and you can tell when you meet up with them that everyone knows exactly what to do, and there's police absolutely everywhere. So I feel like you really get the sense that the situation is under control.
Okay. Lena Edlund, thank you very much indeed for being with us here. Thank you.
On the line now, John Backford, and I think, John, you were at the scene moments after this truck crashed. What did you see?
Yeah, when I got there were no police officers in the area. There were subway security and mall security only. Some people were on the ground doing CPR in the beginning. And I was standing there for maybe 30 seconds before the first police car arrived. And then they, quite soon after that, they started clearing the area, just 1 or 2 minutes, because I think, yeah, of course they want to clear the area, but there also were a gas canister close to the burning truck, a sausage hot dog vendor.
Did you see the driver, John?
No, I did not see the driver.
What did you think had happened?
I studied security policy, and security, so I was aware that something like this could happen. And as the previous speaker said, there were an attempted terror attack, or a terror attack which only killed terrorists just a few years ago, only 1 street away from where this happened, and it was Friday rush hour. So my initial thought was that this truck must have been driving way too fast, and there were a high likeliness and a high possibility this was some kind of an attack.
And you were there as people were receiving CPR. I mean, how many people did you see that needed medical attention?
I saw only one person needing CPR on my side, but I was on the side. I was not on the street which the truck had driven on. I was on the other street of the department store, so I saw only the truck and people on the side which it had not driven upon. So it was. I do believe that there probably were other people on the other side of the building.
We're looking at pictures. The truck appears to have caught fire. You were there before that happened, or at that time?
I felt the first thing, I did not see the event, but the first thing I felt was a bit of smoke in the air. Just as I was starting to cross the street, I was looking down my phone and I opened up and I saw the gathering of people and the car on fire. And smoke coming out from the car. It was quite deep into the store as well, so the store fire alarm was on and it was quite chaotic.
And John, how did you react? How did you feel as you saw this going on around you?
In the beginning, I did not know what had happened, and I did not know actually what to really do. I snapped a few photographs, which are all over Twitter right now, and then I was standing there as the police started clearing the area, and when they began to scream about the gas, I ran away a lot, along with a lot of other people. So that was the first few minutes was very chaotic. But as the previous speaker also said, the police were very quick and knew exactly what to do and to seal off certain streets. I got up to Sveavägen, which is a major street, and they started sealing that off. I saw the police with MP5s and bulletproof vests driving down the street quite quickly, screaming to everyone to get out of the city. But of course, it is Friday afternoon. A lot of people just got off work, and a lot of people is working, and a lot of tourists. So it was quite chaotic in the beginning.
And of course, a Friday afternoon with the metro shut down, the central train station now in lockdown. It must be fairly chaotic where you are.
Yeah, I actually live only 3 kilometers from the place, so I just got in the door when you called. So I'm home, but it was quite chaotic, especially around the city center and the subway station Odenplan, where I live. There were a lot of people trying to get home, but didn't have the ability to get home.
John, it's good of you to give us your time. John Backford there, joining us from Stockholm. Thank you.
These are pictures of central Stockholm where, as you can see, there is a police cordon in place. 3 people have been killed, a number of the others injured. Swedish police saying they have no details yet on the number of people who were injured when a truck ploughed into pedestrians outside a department store in central Stockholm. Well, joining us via webcam now from her hotel in Stockholm is Anna-V Peterson, who is a photographer who I'm told ran out onto the street while the attack was happening. Anna-V, thanks very much for joining us. Just tell us what you saw earlier this afternoon.
I had just stepped into a store and I was in the fitting room, and I hadn't really started anything, and I heard the noise, I heard the screams, I saw the people as I walked out immediately, and there were just outside the store there were dead dog, the owner screaming, there was lady laying with a severed foot, there were blood everywhere, there were bodies on the ground everywhere. And the sense of panic, people standing by their loved ones, but also people running away, mainly into the minor street around, but the sense of sheer panic, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific scenes that you've witnessed there this afternoon, Anna-V. I don't know if you can better talk us through what happened immediately afterwards. First responders on the scene very quickly, I imagine.
It got very quiet. There was the noise, and then everything got quiet, and then people started screaming and crying. Obviously, people severely wounded. then people running away. This is central Stockholm, so people being a couple of blocks away, not realizing what's happening, still coming onto the street. It took a few minutes until the police and ambulances came to the scene. I immediately got into, I mean, I'm a photographer, I'm used to a certain degree of this, but I chose to get into safety. I stepped into a smaller street and got out of there.
This was very swiftly treated by Swedish police as a possible terrorist attack. We've now heard, of course, from the Swedish Prime Minister, from the Swedish intelligence agency, saying this was deliberate. I mean, I don't know if you can cast your mind back to those moments immediately afterwards. I mean, is that what you thought instantly, that this is a terror attack that you were witnessing?
You know what? I was in London 2 weeks ago. I live in London. So, yes, of course I did. No, I did. I realised something was off immediately, and I took the snapshots. I stepped onto the street and then into a smaller street and got out of there. But there was still people not quite knowing what's happening, of course, where people are coming from, where the cars, suddenly people were shouting, there's another car, so running into different directions. What also happened was the owners of the stores immediately locked down, so people being locked into stores, but also meaning people on the street couldn't get into the stores. So a lot of people just not knowing what to do, standing on the streets.
Yeah, in shock, I imagine. I don't know, Anna, if you can give us a sense of how far you are from the area that this took place now. Can you give us any indication of what is happening there?
I'm very close. I see it's completely central Stockholm is sealed off. There are lots of police and activity going on. I was just, it's my birthday, I was here for a spa weekend and staying at a hotel. So I'm still at the hotel, but very close to where it is. I think it's 3 blocks away.
And how much information are you getting? I don't know if you're getting any information from hotel staff there. I mean, we're hearing here in London that the train station has now been evacuated, the Parliament's in lockdown. Just give us a sense of the kind of level of information you're getting from authorities there.
Honestly, I've been on the phone a lot. Yeah, so I've been talking to a few colleagues, but yes, the central station is locked down, a lot is locked down, but you still see people wandering around here, so people need to get home, that's pretty much it, but trying to get home out of the city. It's Friday afternoon, there were obviously a lot of people.
Yeah, OK. Anna V. Peterson, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us. Stay there safely in your hotel. Thank you.